Hello, so today I thought I would do a little video talking about my favorites for 2019. We're kind of at the end of January now, so we're already into a new year, but it's kind of a tradition here to just chat about, I guess, the previous year and all its glories. So I wanted to talk about the things that I discovered last year that I really enjoyed. So this isn't really a video about all of my like holy grail products, if that's still a term that we're using, but it's more of the things that I bought in 2019 that I have been really loving. So I'm going to start with the Glossier Futuredew, and originally when this came out, I think I've already mentioned in past videos, but it wasn't really something that when I used it I was really wowed by, but then the more I used it, the more I really liked it. And further to that is on the days when I actually didn't use it, I found that I actually missed it. So originally I think I was only doing one pump, even though it does recommend two. And lately, I don't know if it's just because my skin has been feeling really dry, but I have just been going ahead and using the two pumps and I've been really enjoying it. I actually don't find that it makes your skin feel or look any more greasy or dewy than one pump, but I just feel like it covers my face a little bit more. I always get asked about where I get these Velcro hair strips, and I just pick them up at Yes Style. You get, I don't know how many you get in a pack, 2 or 4. They're pretty inexpensive. So the Futuredew came out in the summer of 2019, and yeah, I've been really loving it. This is actually a new bottle, so I just repurchased it recently. You can see how it kind of just gives my skin kind of a dewy finish, and this isn't obviously how my skin will look at the end after applying everything, but it still does feel kind of like really dewy and hydrated, but in a healthy way, not a greasy way. I also have to do a shout out to this SimpleHuman mirror, compact mirror. I bought this, I think, Christmas 2018, and I've been using it all 2019 and I really love it. It goes with me everywhere, whether I'm traveling or just here at home. I just really enjoy using it, and I find that the magnification is like the perfect amount. So you can see everything, but it's not jarring, and it also doesn't distort the image. I was looking back at my purchase history just to figure out how many foundations or tinted moisturizer, just bases, I bought last year. And in terms of foundations or tinted moisturizers, I actually didn't really pick up too many. I think my Achilles heel last year was really concealers. I picked up 4 or 5 kind of within a span of 6 to 8 weeks. So the one notable base that I picked up in 2019 was the Natasha Denona Face Glow. So this is the Face Glow foundation in the shade 42, and I've been really enjoying this. Originally I wasn't really sure if I would like it because I don't know, as I age, maybe my skin is just becoming more normal than oily. I mean, I used to really have oily skin, and then now it's kind of more combination skin where I just have normal pretty much everywhere except for maybe my T-zone. So initially I was a little apprehensive that this would give my skin too much of an oily look, but it actually does give your skin a really beautiful glow. And surprisingly, for a product that doesn't tout to be super long wearing or matte, it actually lasts pretty well on my skin all day long. So you can usually cover my face with a pump of this product, and it's very creamy. It's really easy to blend. I usually use a brush, if not a sponge. My only qualm about this product is that the shade range is really poor. There aren't really that many shades deeper than 42, which is a pretty good match for me. So if you have a really deep skin tone, then it might not work out so well. But if you do happen to find a shade that works for you, it actually is quite a nice base. It is definitely more of a light to medium coverage base, so it doesn't give you full coverage, but you could always top it off with a concealer. I picked up one of these JunoCo microfiber sponges also. I actually got 2 of them, and I do like them, although I don't know if they're better than a traditional sponge like this Real Techniques one, but yeah, I do like it. It actually works really nicely. It doesn't expand as much as a traditional sponge, but it does blend makeup really nicely. I bought a lot of concealers this past year. I got the Sensual Skin Enhancer, which is supposed to be concealer, but really you can use it all over the face. The Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer, the Clé de Peau Stick Concealer, which is kind of a cult fave. I also have the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Self-Setting. No, yeah, light capturing self-setting concealer. And then also the Smashbox Studio Skin Flawless 24-Hour Concealer. And honestly, I really enjoy all of these concealers. The Kevyn Aucoin one is great for those days where I don't wear a base because it has such you know, blendability, and it's also very full coverage, so I can just put a little bit under the eyes, but then it kind of, if I need to do the rest of my face, I can with that, and I don't need to use a lot of product, and it doesn't look heavy even though it is a full coverage base. The Clé de Peau one is also really nice. It is really easy to blend. It lasts all day. This also has SPF, which is great. And then these other concealers, I'm pretty sure I've done a video on, so if you haven't seen my like concealer week series, I will link it up here for you. But today I'm going to use the Smashbox Studio Skin Flawless 24-Hour Concealer because that's the one I've kind of been gravitating towards lately. I use and wear these concealers for different reasons. The reason I kind of have been gravitating towards Smashbox just because the formulation is really nice. It's very creamy, it's very fluid, but it still does brighten the under eyes. I haven't switched the shade on this one, so this is medium warm olive. I probably could have gone the shade above in the same undertone, but I mean, this works pretty well once I blend it out. I really like this concealer because it has more of a natural finish, which I think goes best with the kind of base that I have worn today too. I do have some redness around my nose, but I don't bother concealing that anymore because it is winter time and it's also like cold season, so I'm always congested in the morning and I'm always like blowing my nose, so I figure why bother wasting the product because I'm just going to wipe it off with a tissue anyway. The two powders that I picked up last year that I really love are the Sephora MicroSmooth Baked Face Compact, and this is in medium 30. I just really like this because it's super finely milled, it's easy to apply, it looks really nice, it doesn't give you like a really matte finish, it's more of a natural satin finish. So if you like the MAC, I've already forgotten what it's called, it'll come to me, but this is very reminiscent of a MAC face powder that is also really lovely. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Complexion Powder, and this replaced the Too Faced Coco Soleil powder or something like that. It's a face foundation or a powder foundation, and I really like this also, and I love the formulation. It has a really good shade range. So I've been using this a lot and I really like it. I just don't really mention it that often anymore because I'm just not super happy with where the brand is going. But I do really like this, which is kind of unfortunate, but I probably wouldn't repurchase this because yeah, I don't really feel like supporting Too Faced in this climate. I'm not using powder quite yet. I'm just gonna wait a minute for everything to kind of meld and dry down as much as it will. I just find that if I put too much powder on right when my skin is still this dewy, it can look a little bit, well, off and tacky, and it just clumps up, the powder clumps up in different areas, so I just kind of like to wait a little bit. So while I'm waiting, I will put a little something on my eyes. Now, I just purchased these last year and kind of discovered them. I've always wanted to pick them up and I've swatched them for years now, but I only just last year decided to pick some up, and they are the Eyes to Mesmerize Cream Shadow Pots from Charlotte Tilbury, and I really love these. I'm not really, like you guys know, I'm not a huge eyeshadow wearer. I do have eyeshadow and I do occasionally wear it, but it's not something that I do on a daily basis, especially to work, just because one, I can't get up early enough to do like a full beat on my face. But I've been really loving these just because they're so easy to apply. If I were to wear eyeshadow to work, it'd probably be one of these because it's just like a quick wash of color and it's no fuss and you're just out the door. So it's not like you have to blend with like, a crease color and like a lid color and all that kind of stuff. It's just like really easy, and I love the effect on the eyes. I always use a synthetic brush typically with these, only because you can use your finger if you want, but I just find that it's easy to get product out of the pot with a synthetic brush, and it's just really easy to also blend it in. So I have two shades. One is Bette and one is Marie Antoinette. So Marie Antoinette, which is this guy, is more of like a taupe kind of grayish color. It's, I think, described as an oyster shade. And then this one is Bette, which is definitely more of a warm bronzy shade. So I'm going to use Bette just because I'm kind of feeling that warm shade today. So I basically just swirl my brush in there and then apply it lightly on the eyes. I don't even put primer with this product because it actually lasts pretty well throughout the day without a primer on my lids. Really, this is all I do. I just spread it lightly on my lid and then I call it a day. I don't even really put too much on, so it's a really subtle wash of color. And a lot of times it just kind of gives your lids this really pretty iridescent look, but it doesn't look like you're wearing an abundance of eye makeup. So I've been really loving those, and I was contemplating getting more shades, but honestly, I don't know that I would wear any of the other shades other than these two. These are kind of like the go-to ones that I use, and I've been really loving them alone or also in combination with other eyeshadow. Okay, I just applied a bit of powder on my face. So I just did my T-zone and then my chin around my nose and then under the eyes. And I'm using this Real Techniques buffing brush. Unfortunately, you can't get this individually. You have to buy it in a set, at least as far as I know in Canada. So it's too bad because I actually really like this brush and I would definitely pick up more if you could buy them individually. And I like to use a synthetic brush with powder, especially if I have put on like the Futuredew and more dewy makeup, because I just feel like it helps the powder kind of stick on a little bit better. But as you can see, it kind of brought down the shine where I don't really want to be shiny, which is on my forehead in my T-zone, but it still kind of left the dewiness on the cheeks. There's only one standout bronzer that I picked up last year that I have been really loving, and it's from Fenty Beauty. So they came out with a whole range of bronzers in different tones. This is it's called the Stalker Instant Warmth Bronzer in Island Ting, and I think this is kind of like middle road in terms of the shade. I think there's a few lighter than this and then a few darker than this. So it's kind of in the middle, and it's not too warm, although there is a little bit of more. I really like this bronzer because it is a little bit warmer and has like a hint of like a bit of red to it, and I like that because, well, my skin tends to go a little bit red obviously when it's been in the sun, so it kind of mimics that really beautifully. I've also been really loving angled brushes to apply blush or bronzer, anything powder product really. And so this one is from Japonesque and this one is from Sephora Collection. It's the Pro Angled Blush Brush in number 49. This one doesn't have a name on it because it's already rubbed off. But yeah, I've been really loving the angled brush. Usually if I apply bronzer, I usually use something kind of like this, which is a dome shape, or like something flat. But yeah, for some reason, I don't know why I kind of slept on angled brushes for so long, but I really like how they apply. They just fit really nicely kind of on the cheekbone, and these ones in particular are really soft and they blend really nicely. So yeah, I've been really loving them. I was kind of debating whether or not to pick up another Sephora brush. The Japonesque one is a little bit harder to find when you're in Canada. You can buy it on Amazon. I think I bought this from Ulta, I think. But yeah, I've been really loving it. So moving on to blush, I am going to be using a combination of powder and like cream gel products today just because I'm crazy like that. But these two blushes I bought last year and I've been really loving them. So this one, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic Swish and Glow Blusher in Pillow Talk, I actually picked up kind of in the beginning of the year. And surprisingly, this is the first Charlotte Tilbury blush that I own in the, I guess, blush compact. I do have two of her blushes in the face palette that I picked up a few years ago. But this one I had to get because I had to complete the Pillow Talk collection, and I also really love the neutral shades in here. Originally I was a little nervous about the pinky like pale shade in the middle because I thought that's gonna make me look ashy, but it actually looks really nice and it just gives your skin like a really luminous finish, and the formulation of this is really nice. This one in particular has a little bit of a shimmer or a sheen to it, but they do have other blushes that are a little bit more matte if you don't like a shimmer. I also really love this, which is the Chantecaille Cheek Gelee in Vibrant. I don't know if this is limited edition, but they came out with it as part of a collection kind of in the fall of 2019, and I love it. This shade is right up my alley, so it's like a really beautiful berry shade, and it blends really nicely. So this is what I'm going to wear today. It's like a gel cream hybrid. It's really easy to blend and it's a beautiful color and it just looks so great on my skin tone. I do have another blush, a Cheek Gelee blush from Chantecaille, which is more of like a peachy color, which also looks really nice, but this is definitely a lot more, well, vibrant, and that's I think what it's called, yeah. You can definitely blend these Cheek Gelee blushes in with your fingers. I typically just dot it on my cheek and then blend it out with a brush. Again, I use a synthetic brush, so this is the Instapop cheek brush from Real Techniques. And I just like to apply it kind of on the apples, and then I blend it out. And I just love this color and I love the formulation of these blushes. The unfortunate part is that they only have 3 shades currently in this formulation, which is a shame because it's really nice and it's also very limiting in the skin tones that can wear it. There's a pink one that they have that I really love the tone of, but it just doesn't show up on my skin tone. Okay, so for highlighter, I've been really loving the Burts Bees All Aglow in Opal Mist. So this is very reminiscent of the Glossier Halo Scope highlighters, and it's probably slightly more affordable, but in Canada it's still, I think, $18 to $20, so it's still a little bit pricey. But I've been really loving this, and I think I might actually like it more than the Halo Scopes, just because I feel like it lasts a little bit longer on my skin. I haven't really delved into all the different shades that it has. Hopefully it has more than one. I know that they have kind of like a bronzer in this style, but this is Opal Mist, so it's a little bit lighter. I find that it actually does look really nice on my skin tone also. The shade is kind of reminiscent of the Living Luminizer from RMS. It might be just a little bit warmer. The RMS Living Luminizer is definitely whiter, I guess, on the skin, for lack of a better description. This one has a little bit of like a peachy tone to it, which is really nice. But I really like it because, yeah, for some reason it does last on my skin a little bit longer than the Halo Scopes. And I really like it. It gives your skin like this beautiful glow. It works well in the summer and in the winter. And I just love like cream highlighters. I think they're really flattering because they're almost like indiscernible on the skin. They just kind of catch the light in a really nice way and make your skin look naturally glowy. So for brows, I have been still using the Glossier Brow Flick, although like I said, I just kind of haven't mastered using it, so I wouldn't really consider it a favorite, although I do wear it almost every day. Someone had commented to use it at more of like a, I guess, 90-degree angle to your face, so perpendicular to your face, which works at first, but then again, it kind of, the tip dries out a little bit, then you have to shake it, and it takes a while for the product to get back down. So I don't know if it's better when you are not wearing a base on to apply it then, because I just feel like the brush tip really mixes in with whatever is already on your skin, and it just, I don't know, it doesn't really help the brow flick stick on your brows that easily. Anyway, so what I've been doing is I've been taking a cotton swab and I've just been kind of running that through my brows in an effort to remove some excess product so that the brow flick actually works a little bit better. But yeah, I'm just not super happy with it. It doesn't quite work as advertised, at least. Again, it's probably user error and I just haven't like figured out how to use it. But like I said, I still have been using it pretty regularly. It's just, yeah, I wouldn't consider it a favorite. Most of the time I'm actually not wearing anything on my brows except for brow gel. And I did pick up a couple of new ones last year. So one was the ABH Dip Brow Pomade, which was nice in the sense that it does give your brows like a really nice full look, but it's so messy. So this one I would definitely not repurchase, or I've been kind of avoiding using, to be honest. I also picked up the Milk Kush Fiber Brow Gel, and this is in Cypher. And this one's okay, but again, sometimes it can be a little bit messy, and I just find that it can transfer a little bit or move around. So I've just been kind of sticking with my OG favorite, which is the Glossier Boy Brow in black, because it, yeah, works really well. It holds my brows in place, but it doesn't move around, and it doesn't transfer and doesn't goop up anywhere, so I've been really enjoying it. I I think I've been using this for like 3 years now, and it's still my favorite go-to. Same thing for lashes. I tried a couple of new mascaras last year, so the Kush Waterproof Mascara and the Hourglass Caution Mascara, and they're both good, but if I go for mascara, I'm usually just gravitating towards the Glossier Lash, which I think came out 2 years ago now. I'm looking for the lip product that I've been really obsessed with lately, but I cannot find it, so I'll be right back. Ow. Okay, I found it. So 2 more steps to finish off the look. So one is lip product and the other is setting spray. So for the lip product, I've been really loving this lip veil in Baobab. Now I picked this up again in kind of the latter half of 2019. So I picked up, I think, like September or October, and I've been really loving it. Originally I wanted to pick up the lip product that came out with the collection that included the vibrant cheek Gelee, but once I actually got in and I swatched it, I was thinking, oh, it's maybe a little bit too light for me, so I went with this color because this color is, first of all, like right up my alley, and I've just been really loving, well, I've always loved Chantecaille products. You guys know I'm obsessed with their Just Skin, which is kind of the intro product that I bought with them that kind of got me hooked on the brand. But I love this formulation because it's so creamy, it's so smooth, and I love the color because it is not so bright and vibrant, but it's still kind of that beautiful berry color family that I love. So this is not the most long wearing lip product, of course, because it has like a really nice glossy finish. It doesn't even really stain your lips that much. It kind of gives it a little bit of a hint when it dries down a little bit, but it's not like a super long wearing matte lipstick, but it's so comfortable on the lips. It's so easy to reapply. So if I do want to reapply it throughout the day, I can just do it really easily, and it doesn't feel like, you know, sometimes lip products are really drying on the lips, so when you reapply it just feels extra drying. I don't experience that with this at all. I love the color of this because it's almost like a My Lips But Better shade for me, and it's just like a color family I really love. So in terms of setting sprays, I picked up quite a few last year. So I had the Tatcha Satin Skin Mist, which I really enjoy, but more as like a skincare, I guess, rather than a setting spray. I also tried the Cover FX High Performance Setting Spray, and this one is really nice too. It's just that sometimes I feel like if I put too much on, it can feel a little bit tightening on the skin. And then my favorite one actually is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. So this I repurchased because I really enjoy it. The only downside is I feel like I go through it really quickly. The plus side is I do feel like it holds my makeup in place without making it look really dry, without making my skin feel really dry. I think I mentioned it before, but I am very cautious about picking up any Morphe products because it is, to me, like a very influencer-led brand, and I'm not entirely sure that the products are really good. But I tried this actually in store, and then I sprayed it on my skin, and I walked around, and I looked at myself in the mirror and actually really enjoyed it, so then I picked up a full size. And I like this enough that I picked up a second canister. One of my other favorite things about this product is the, I guess, spray mechanism itself. It's a beautiful mist that feels so nice on the skin, but I think it's also why I feel like I use up a lot of it, because you can just spend like a full minute spritzing yourself and it feels really nice and refreshing. So this is the finished look, and this is probably the look that I've been wearing the most this past year, or like a variation of it. So something that's not super matte, but more of like a satin natural finish, with definitely like a hint of glow to it all throughout the year. I did want to mention nail polish because I've probably been wearing this the most this past year. I actually had to pick up a second bottle because my first bottle dried out a little bit, and it is the color Rocky Rose from Essie. I really love this color a lot. Unfortunately, this is part of a limited edition collection, so the second bottle I picked up, I ended up having to get from Amazon because I couldn't find it in store. But it's this like really pretty kind of light terracotta shade, and I feel like it's just really wearable throughout the whole year. I thought maybe I would just only wear this kind of in the fall time, but I've been wearing it all the time and I've been really loving it. So this is probably my favorite nail polish this past year. So that is it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me talk about my favorite products of 2019 and also watching me apply them. My next video, which should come up in a little bit, will be a tour of my beauty room because as you guys know, the beau and I are having our first baby, so it's very exciting, but it also means a lot of changes. And this room, which I always kind of deemed my beauty room is now going to be our office, which means I have to rearrange it a little bit so that it's not just for me, but it's also for the beau, because he's going to be using it for his office also. So stay tuned for that, because I wanted to kind of commemorate this room in a video so that I can look back on it and think, oh, wasn't it nice when I had this room all to myself? But that video should be coming up in the next week or so. But I hope you guys have had a wonderful 2020 so far. So happy new year, because this is the first video I'm filming in the new year. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.